I've been very fortunate in my career. I think it's one of the exciting things about working in investment banking to meet, work with, counsel, watch a number of CEOs, really have a big leadership impact on their organizations. As I transition, if you asked me, I guess there are two people that come to mind at the moment that I'd highlight that certainly I've looked at and thought about, as I make my transition. Mm-hmm. One's Tim Cook, who, interestingly was following, this incredibly iconic leader, hard, act to follow. And, I think he's done a very good job in making that transition, but also he leads Apple with real simplicity and real clarity around what they're trying to do, mm-hmm. and also in a very human way. And I think that's something that's very important. I'd also point to Satya Nadella and his transition at Microsoft. Again, another company, big history, big culture a certain way, but a company that needed to transition or evolve a little bit. And he was very, very successful in going in and in an evolutionary way, really transitioning the business in a very positive way that shareholders have really benefited mm-hmm. from. And I'd also say he's another leader who leads in a very, human and humble way. And so, when I think about Goldman Sachs, we're blessed with an incredible client franchise. We're blessed with incredible people. And we still, like all businesses, have to change and evolve. And mm-hmm. so evolution will be an important part of, my leadership in the firm. How do we take advantage of the great franchise we have, but also evolve the business in a changing world? Interesting,
you named two tech CEOs there, and we'll come to that perhaps in a little moment. But I just want to follow up on the human point you made, that were character traits you saw in both of those two leaders. Does Goldman Sachs need to be a bit more human, perhaps a little less elite it might have had the image of in the past?
I think for leaders to be successful in the world that they're in today, and especially to lead the workforce, I think you've got to be approachable. I think you've got to be human. I think you've got to be vulnerable. That's something I've talked a little bit about. We've got a workforce that's a young workforce. We have nearly 40,000 people at Goldman Sachs. Approximately 60% of them are 30 years old or less. And, I think
60%.
60%. Wow. I think that, generationally, people want to understand their leaders, not just as a leader of their company, but what they stand for more broadly as people. And I think that's important. I think you're seeing a lot of great CEOs across a range of industries mm-hmm. really trying to think about that. What's the right way to just be a little bit open about who you are as a person? Got to be very focused, very committed to the business, but also you got to be a human being to lead people. I think that's very important.